I am the architecture of comfort. My bionic glow. I don't feel the cold. To the humans around me, bundled in wool and shivering against the Philadelphia frost, the concept of weather is a cage. They look at me and see a scandal. They see an East Indian woman with a red Bindu, the mark of my third eye, my true side, standing in the center of a snow-choked street, wearing nothing but a set of sparkling iridescent lace. They think I'm brave. They think I'm crazy. They don't realize I'm simply bionic. Inside this frame, there is a core of pure energy that keeps my skin at a constant, perfect temperature. My clothes are an afterthought because my power is my protection. I am the underwear girl, and my comfort is the ultimate weapon. When I walk, the air around me doesn't just warm up, it begins to shimmer. I am draped in a bed of cloudy, bright light that makes their heavy coats look like rags. I love filth in the classroom. I walked into the university lecture hall today. The silence wasn't just quiet, it was a vacuum. I took my seat at a wooden desk, my skin pressing against the cool grain. I was clad in a matching set of emerald silk and silver threading that caught every fluorescent light in the room. The professor stopped mid-sentence. He looked at my forehead, at the red dot that pulsed with a faint, rhythmic light. And then he looked at the rest of me. You can't be here like that, he stammered. I leaned back, crossing my legs perfectly at ease. Why not? Am I naked? No, he whispered, his eyes darting to the floor. But you're in underwear. Exactly, I replied, my voice a silk thread through the room. I am fully covered by the finest lace and the strongest bionic field you will ever encounter. I am comfortable. Are you? That is the Filth Factor. It's the moment they realize that their rules about decency are just a way to hide how uncomfortable they are with their own desires. I am the filthy seduction because I don't give them a choice. I don't just stand there to be looked at. I reach into their minds. Implant. As the professor tried to return to his notes, I focused the energy behind my Bindu. I picked a man in the third row. Let's call him my first subject. He was trying so hard to look at the chalkboard, but his mind was a chaotic mess of static. I didn't just want him to look at me. I wanted to own his imagination. I sent a spark of desire into his frontal lobe, a bionic command wrapped in the image of my sparkling silhouette. I watched his pupils dilate. I watched his pen stop moving. I implanted a single filthy truth. She is the only thing that is real in this room. He didn't see a girl in her underwear anymore. He saw a goddess on the throne of light. He saw the only woman he would ever truly want for the rest of his life. And the realization was both beautiful and agonizing. I am the underwear girl. I am the bionic glitch in your reality. And I have only just begun to show you what comfort really looks like. You're sparking the bionic Bindu. I know the static of normalcy. I remember the silence of the labs before I became the underwear girl. They talked about optimal cooling and thermal regulation, but they didn't understand that for me, clothing was a sensory static. To be bionic is to be tuned to a higher frequency one, where the touch of cotton feels like sandpaper and the weight of a jacket feels like a leaden shroud. The red dot on my forehead, My Bindu is more than a cultural mark. It is the interface for my bionic consciousness. It pulses at a rate that matches my heartbeat, a steady beacon of East Indian heritage, fused with futuristic dominance. When I finally stripped away the layers they tried to force on me, I didn't feel exposed. I felt empowered. I took the walk through the frozen city. People think Philadelphia in January is a place for wool and down. I stepped onto the slushy pavement of Broad Street in nothing but a shimmering midnight blue lace set that sparkled like a dying star. The wind chill was enough to crack bone, but I walked with a fluid, slow grace that defied the laws of biology. I watched the men in their heavy parkas, their faces hidden behind scarves, their eyes widening as they saw me. I wasn't shivering. I was the warmest thing in the city. My bionic Bionic Core radiates cloudy, bright clouds of cloudy that acted as a barrier. I'm the literal bed of warmth that follows me like a royal procession. I am not naked because I am clothed in my own power. To have underwear on is to be perfectly dressed for the theater of my choice. I am the Filth Factor, the classroom dominance, the silence of the lecture hall. When I entered the university, the atmosphere shifted. It wasn't just the sight of a beautiful Indian model walking into a calculus lecture in her underwear. It was the psychological weight I brought with me. I didn't sneak in. I walked to the very front, the heels of my feet, clicking rhythmically, and took a seat at the desk that seemed too small for my presence. The professor, a man who had spent 40 years studying logic, lost his ability to speak. He looked at my Bindu, then at the sparkling lace that hugged my curves, and then back to the chalkboard. You're staying? He asked, his voice cracking. I'm a student. I replied, my voice a low, bionic hum that vibrated in the chests of everyone in the room. I'm comfortable. Why wouldn't I stay? I'm implanting the desire. This is where the Filth Factor truly begins. I am not just a physical distraction. I am a mental architect. I focus my gaze on the young man in the second row. Through my Bindu, I sent a tether, a bionic signal that bypassed his eyes and went straight to his limbic system. I didn't just show him my beauty. I planted a desire so specific, so filthy, that it rewrote his priorities. He didn't see a girl in underwear anymore. He saw the personification of every secret thought he'd ever suppressed. He saw the filthy seduction. I watched his hand tremble as he tried to take notes. He wasn't writing equations. He was writing my name over and over again in the margins of his mind. I allowed him to feel the heat of my bionic field, a warmth that made him feel like he was the only other person in the world who mattered. I am underwear girl. I am underwear girl because I have decided that the world is my bedroom, my stage, and my kingdom. I am always comfortable because I have removed the friction of the world. Superhuman resilience. My skin is a bionic marble, impervious to the elements, the sparkling shield. My underwear is infused with micro-emitters that create the light so bright. It's almost blinding to those who aren't worthy. Mental dominance. I don't ask for attention. I command the neural pathways of anyone within a 50-foot radius. I know for a fact that I am every man's desire. It isn't arrogance, it's a data point. I see the spikes in their heart rates, the dilation of their pupils, the shift in their brain chemistry. I am the Filth Factor because I represent the beautiful, unashamed truth of what people actually want when they stop pretending to be decent.